Kev's mum eyed us both. Okay, however, no fooling around, she muttered as she turned up the TV. It was Neighbours, and for the past half hour, total silence would be demanded. Locking my dad's tent between us, Kev and I sneaked out of the back door. At long last, we had permission to spend the night camping out, even if it was only at the bottom of Kevin's garden. 4 hours later, we were snuggled into our sleeping bags. Already the sun had dipped over the horizon, and the shadows were growing longer. Kev turned on his torch, which was as bright as the sun, and we stared out across the garden at the house. Each room was lit up with the lights glowing like yellow pumpkins. However, down at the end of the garden where we were, it was getting darker and darker and darker, as if we were sinking into a deep pit. Stars came out like tiny silver studs. The moon cast an eerie silver light over the garden, and it grew colder, like ice. Kev zipped up the tent flap. Next, we chatted for a while. I could just see my digital watch giving off a strange green glow. It had luminous numbers, which meant that you could sometimes see them in the dark. Kev had just told me a joke about a man with a Labrador that wore brown shoes. When we first heard it, a strange scratching noise coming from just outside the tent. What on earth could it be? Then it came again. Something or somebody was moving along the side of the tent towards the entrance. It was making a scraping noise like somebody's last rasping breath. There was no escape. All we could do was lie there waiting. Terrified of the noise, both of us ducked down deep into our comfortable sleeping bags and waited patiently. My heart thumped like a drum. Then Kev really surprised me. Cautiously, he reached out and pulled the flap down. There was a sudden rush of cold air, and we stared out. His torch flickered on. Its beam stabbed the darkness, picking out the intruder like a spotlight. It was a hedgehog. Taking one look at us with its tiny black button eyes, it sniffed and trundled up the garden, snorting like a fat water. The following morning, Kev's mum treated us to bacon and eggs, which were delicious. "All right, were you, Kevin?" she asked as she spread some butter onto our toast. "No probs," replied Kev, as if it had been plain sailing. His mum took another look at her son and raised an eyebrow. I could see that she wasn't fooled.